Hi guys, Rando Gamer here with the next session of Paranormal Investigations. We're up to session 12 of the campaign. Sorry about the noise in the background. We just started a candy load in our freeze dryer, but I'm going to make sure I get the video out. Session 12 picks up as the party has been confronted by the djinn in Carmila's home, and it gets pretty intense there. The party is struggling with trying to figure out how to finagle this without giving over the sarcophagus, as well as getting out of there alive. Basically, between a rock and a hard place, and they quickly learn what sort of conditions they actually are in, and having to work through that, and getting towards the end of the module itself on how to deal with the djinn in general. Overall, pretty good session. Pretty high intensity throughout the entire duration, and learn a little bit about the different characters on their backstories, which is really exciting. But hopefully you like it. If you do, make sure to hit that like button, and if you want to stay up to date with my content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. But without further ado, here is Paranormal Investigations Session 12.
Well, thank you guys for joining. This is going to be Session 12 of Paranormal Investigations tonight. In our last session, we had picked up right after you guys had left Archie the Boss Venato's office. You guys had a sarcophagus, and you had been basically two different individuals had sniped you as soon as you come out of the building. One of them being a cultist, another one was a golden-eyed individual. No one was able to track down the golden-eyed individual, but Carmila had gotten a good bead on the cultist, which we had opened up with a chase sequence, kind of following him down this alleyway. Right before he got to what appeared to be his hideout, you guys have been able to tackle him. The other group, specifically Violet, Gillis, and Dr. Savage, had taken the vehicle around to cut him off, partly to keep Violet safe since she had the sarcophagus in her possession, and also just to kind of cut him off and prevent him from escaping. You guys had noticed there was this factory that looked like he was trying to get into, and Dr. Savage, believing other people were going to follow him up, had decided to go into the factory, where he immediately got blindsided by two cultists and quickly was in a fight for his life in an outnumbered situation. Several people were incredibly rough with the fucking cultist. I think by the end of it, you guys had him on like 1 or 2 HP because everybody fucking kept hitting him in the head, despite him already being incapacitated. But he is still alive, you guys. They got him into the car for potential interrogation later. But there was a lot of shenanigans happening outside the factory because people were struggling climbing up the pole. Poor Bentley ran back and forth, I don't know how many fucking times, and ultimately the best he did was take a picture of the cultist with the camera. Carmila had gone around to the front to try and take out the padlock, but about the time she knocked out the padlock, Dr. Savage had realized there was more than just the two cultists he was actively fighting, and they had blow darts, and he had basically decided that this was not worth continuing to pursue anything inside the factory, and jumped out the second-story window onto the roof of the car, at which point you guys had made a quick exit, getting your other car and making it back over to Carmila's place, but not before a good portion of the group had made out that several crows with golden eyes were tailing the vehicle and had posted up outside her house. You guys had quickly realized that you probably didn't have a whole lot of time to make any sort of plans. The cultists had been put into the boxing bag, essentially, to potentially be roughed up a little bit later. And the group kind of was going back and forth on trying to decide what the hell they should do. The consensus seemed to be that you guys probably were going to make your way to PICA. Before you guys could fully solidify that plan, there was a knock at the door. And Archibald went to open it and was met with Dr. Morietti, or at least what looked like Dr. Morietti with golden eyes. So that's more or less what I'm going to be picking up tonight. Let me switch up some music here.
Didn't I put a shotgun in his face?
You hid behind the door with a shotgun ready.
Fantastic. Just make sure I was counting right.
Don't shoot him.
Hey, man, at least I am prepared to do something. All right, I'm not, hold up. I'm not gonna, I already know guns are on. I'm ready, all right?
That's fine. Stay ready. Let's find out what he wants.
Shot up shotgun, and it's loaded with buckshots, and we'll see where we go.
He makes a move, blow him apart by all means.
Absolutely.
Blow him good.
The only thing that will be splitting is his mama's heart when she goes to the closed casket funeral, all right? He's even got a mama.
That's tragic.
Oh, that should have been in a movie. That was perfect.
Okay. So, more or less how this had ended is the door had opened and Dr. Moria had greeted Archibald with, it's good to see you guys are ahead of schedule, and that is where we had left off. Currently, Archibald, you were the one greeting him at the door, and Carmila, you're posted up behind the door with the shotgun ready.
And like we notice his eyes, right?
Yes. As of right now, like how we kind of ended it, Archibald hadn't like caught on with what was going on. But everybody else, as soon as they heard Dr. Morietti voice, they knew something was up.
I can't hear the music.
Oh, maybe did I minimize it? I probably in my infinite wisdom I did. Can you hear it now?
No.
Oh, that's right. It doesn't like whenever I run it through DuckDuckGo's player. You guys can hear it now, though?
No.
Maybe not. It's very quiet. It's the stressful negotiations one.
I have my volume all the way up.
Yeah, I don't hear anything either.
Sorry.
No, nothing.
Were you hearing it
Everyone-
earlier whenever I was playing music?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
Yeah, everyone get really aggressive. Just like, get aggressive with it.
I guess.
Do you want me to?
I'll
run
just
music?
run it not in DuckDuckGo because I think that's the problem. It doesn't like that browser for whatever reason, which sucks because
What?
DuckDuckGo blocks all the ads.
DuckDuckGo is a wild browser name.
Right?
It is.
I know. He kept saying DuckDuckGo. I'm like, these are words that I don't understand.
Understand. I may not be sober. I ain't dumb. No, I'm dumb. You're right. I'm sorry. I just saw the gif of the guy falling off the balcony. I'm like, what the fuck was that about?
I've got a slew of different D100s ready to grab.
Okay, what about now?
I'm prepared tonight.
Turn up a little bit, just to be sure.
I can hear it.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so it is over to you guys, at least at the moment. He's, at least at the moment, appears to be waiting for a response or like an invite into the door. He's basically standing in the threshold.
Yeah, Archibald. So Archibald hasn't like noticed anything weird.
Not at the end of last session. I think everybody's now like meta-wise privy to who it is, but at the time of opening the door, Archibald was like, "Oh, hey, Dr. Moriarty."
Yeah, he greets Dr. Moriarty. He's like, laddie, buddy, it's good for you to be here. Come on in.
Oh, thank you. It's been so... I mean, I guess it's only been a couple of weeks since we last met, but it's good to see you guys in good spirits and making such good progress on the task I set out for you.
I don't know about good spirits, but because I haven't seen any around. Place seems a little dry.
That's odd. I don't remember telling you our progress yet.
Oh, well, I'm sure you all know I have eyes everywhere.
But I only
know
see two.
certain things have eyes everywhere, but not you.
Yeah, all the ravens were a little disconcerting.
Well, who do
So
you
why
think...
don't you change into your real form? Come on.
Archibald's a little confused. He looks around everybody. He's like, what's going on?
He's the fucking djinn, you moron.
I can change into the other form if you'd like, but I usually don't bring that out unless I'm going to murder someone.
Well, how about we make an agreement that you don't murder anybody, and then you show us fake Dr. Moriarty?
I can see the air quotes.
Well, if you'd like me to, he'll close the door, and he'll shift. As he's shifting, while it isn't as aggressive as the first time he did it for you guys, all of you need to make a sanity roll.
Fuck. God damn it.
Who do I blame? Somebody.
My sanity's sitting at 29 still.
I feel like Clarissa.
It
Can't
is.
tell if that was a bluff or not.
It's 100% my fault.
Nope. Letting someone into my house, by the way?
What is this? Yeah, so how did we do the sanity roll again?
You're gonna roll a D100. You need to roll higher than your current sanity score, or you need to roll your current sanity score lower. Otherwise, you fail, and we'll take sanity.
Are you fucking kidding me? I failed by 9.
Let me see here.
Oh shit! I rolled a
Archibald,
4, so that's an extreme, I guess.
Oh, nice.
Okay, that's just a success for Bentley.
Bear with me. I always struggle with these 100 dice. Just bear with me.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the first half of last session, you were rolling D20s.
I'm sorry.
I was like, fuck, she's hit like 4 hard successes. That it's like, well, you literally couldn't fail any of your rolls because you were rolling a D20. Ugh.
This time, I got a 70. So, I mean,
Okay, so you fail because your sanity is not remotely close.
Hey,
I think you're in the 20s as well. I think both you and Archibald are like pretty close to going it permanently insane. What about you, Violet?
I rolled a success.
Okay, perfect. Carmila and Archibald, you guys will both take 2 sanity damage. It's a little bit reduced what you guys could have taken just because you've seen it before. So more or less, the more often you see things, the less aggressive it can be, or unless it takes a larger gap between time. But more or less, what he now looks like, he gained about 2 or 3 feet in height, and definitely bulked up. So he went from like the skinny sort of Italian doctor to a bull looking like demon that's white with golden eyes. He's got kind of like the curved horns, big canines that kind of come down to almost his chin. His hands have a little bit more of a spindly claw-like structure to them, so they're a little bit longer than just like the end of the fingertips, which kind of constitutes him being able to scratch through concrete, based off of the massacre you guys saw at the basement of the church. And his legs are kind of like the hoofed-like structure.
Bentley tips his head up to, pull his eyes out of the shadows. I suppose that we asked for that one. But it's nice to see you weren't hiding.
Well, that's what my eyes are for. If I want to hide in broad daylight, they're the best use.
I feel like there's a euphemism in there, but what are you coming for?
The sarcophagus, obviously. I requested you guys to find the location of all of them and bring me them by the end of the next moon.
It's not the end of the moon yet.
Yes, but we both know where you were going next.
Where are we going next?
Oh, to PICA, of course. Where else would you be able to hide it where I can't get to it?
Actually, we were in the middle of formulating a plan when we were assaulted by all your birds.
My birds never touched you, and you know it.
Accosted by then.
Listen, some
I
of
don't
us
know.
might be a little bit afraid of birds, so just having them around was a bad time.
Well, that sounds like a personal problem.
Well,
You're our
Just-
personal problem. What do you want?
What was the deal?
Sarcophagus? That's it?
Yes. Well, and obviously we still have our upcoming meeting for the location of the other ones, or if you manage to find them, the physical ones in hand.
What was the deal with all the cultists that we ran into?
I think you know more on the cultists than I do. They worship one of my brothers, although misguided in who they're worshiping.
so if they worship your brother, he must be better than you, right?
Well, they really like dabbling in magic. I prefer the more physical application.
So you can't cast magic. Got
We each have our own skill sets.
Can I get a vibe check on this guy?
it.
As far as you can tell, as long as you guys are... Alright, wait, no, give me a psychology check first. And anybody else that's wanting to get a general...
I think
consensus.
Carmila is too busy trying not to pull the trigger from the insanity. And she's just standing there aiming aggressively.
Psychology. Go ahead. Sorry.
Go
I'm
for it.
sorry.
No, you go for it.
Psychology
Hell
was
yeah.
a success.
Perfect.
I
Same
got
here.
a hard success.
Perfect.
Regular.
Okay, Dr. Savage and Bentley, you get the general idea that, like, while there's a definitely intimidating presence, as far as you can tell, like, he's more or less being upfront with you guys. You get the vibe that he's kind of like, he deems you guys so beneath him that there's not a reason to hold anything back. Archibald, for you specifically, you can tell that, like, you get the deep impression that as long as you are meeting his demands, he won't do anything further. Like, he mentioned the raven or the crows never touching you, and, like, basically just watching you. So you get the impression that he's going to track your guys' progress. But as long as you're not making it obvious that you're going against him, you are relatively safe. Whether or not what he wants with the sarcophagus and what he's going to do once he gets all of them, like, you don't know that. But at least at the moment, you feel at least safe as far as working with a creature of this nature.
Can I get a just some context, just in case if it was something that was given on a session I wasn't here? Do we know where the other sarcophagi are at?
Yeah, so if you guys look at the world information, all of the information that you guys have acquired is in there, including your guys'
Right.
conversation with Archie gave you the list of everybody that had a sarcophagus. So
Right. It's
And
with
what-
all the other
what
mob
one?
bosses.
basically,
And
all
what one?
you guys have the one that was in Archie the boss's office. That's the one that's currently in your hands.
Right.
which is the one I think it said he canceled. Yeah, he kept one that is now in your possession, so that's the last one. So each of the other mob bosses were given one plus the mayor. You know the one that Lucky Luciana was given is the djinn currently standing in front of you.
Could you potentially give us any other insight of how we should acquire the next one, or one that might be easiest next to attain?
My good sir, I think you might be misremembering our initial conversation. You were supposed to be finding out where they are and acquiring them. From my understanding, you just got done with meeting with Archie the boss, and he should have known where all of them were, because I know he had all of them at one point in time.
Yeah, he wasn't quite sure on where all of them were.
Well, it sounds like you have more time for research, although it is a ticking clock.
Archibald turns to the group and he goes, I'm confused. Do we like this guy or not?
No, we're not big fans.
Well, I would say we're more work colleagues.
Yeah, you definitely give me the vibe of somebody that's like, you scratch my back and I won't hurt you. And that seems a little fucked up. That's not a great way to start a working relationship.
Well, I don't plan on the relationship lasting long after our job is done.
So then what's the purpose of us helping you? Have you ever thought about therapy?
What the fuck?
I'm pretty sure the
Archie
last person that tried to do any sort of therapy went insane. It is in the local sanatorium.
Archie reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a pocket watch and dangles it in front of him and asks him, do you know what this is?
Do you truly know what it is?
Well, the last I checked, I've been carrying it around for the last, 36 years.
This guy is good.
You've carried it around for 36 years and you don't know what's in it.
Clockwork, springs. It used to be one of those things that you wind up and it'll tell you the time.
You honestly don't know why it doesn't work, do you? What's inside it?
Archibald looks at the pocket watch, realizing that his whole spiel has backfired on him. You have my attention, lad. What can you tell me about it?
Well, I would think someone working for PICA would be more inclined to look at something of the occult a little bit more deeper than just thinking it's a mundane pocket watch.
He looks at it again, puts it in his pocket. He's like, I'm done talking about the pocket watch.
Well, I mean, it's why I was here anyways. Now, if you would be so kind, I'm not necessarily on a timetable, but I know you guys are, so if you would kindly hand over the sarcophagus.
Don't do it.
Could we give them
that's
all to
fine.
you at one time?
As much as I like you guys, I don't trust you. So no.
And we don't trust you. Listen, buddy, have you ever heard of a thing called insurance?
He kind of
Carmila.
holds his claws out like this. Yes, I'm very familiar with the concept of insurance.
Well, as long as we have this in our possession, then we have insurance now, don't we? That's kind of how this works. A little give, a little take, a little we keep from you to make sure that our skin remains on our bones.
I'm going to say this once. Holding the sarcophagus gives you nothing. I can murder all of you and walk out of here with it just as easy as you holding on to it and handing it over.
But you haven't done that yet, and why?
Carmila just looks at the group looking for someone to give her the go ahead.
Why?
Archie kind of like
Because
puts
I
his
like
hand out to,
playing
like,
with you.
hold up.
If I didn't find it amusing to watch you guys squirm in a setting like this, you would all already be dead.
Right.
Where, meta-wise, because I'm forgetting at the moment, where is the sarcophagus at?
It's currently in Violet's hands.
Yeah, Violet has possession of it. Is there, DM, in this room, is there any way out? Like, is there a back door? Are there windows? Is there a fire hatch, a fire pole?
It's more or less just a basic New York apartment. She has like a garage, but
Yeah, like the apartment is the garage. Like it's like so it's got windows. It's got a back door that he's in. It has a garage door. You know, like maybe it has a fire, like a ladder going up to the roof. I don't know.
there's the front door, some windows, and the garage. That's the extent of what
In
you're
the
working
car,
with.
yeah. The car we came in with.
But the garage door was closed because you guys were kind of laying low at the moment.
Right.
Can we have some time to deliberate as a team?
After you hand off the sarcophagus, I don't give a shit what amount of time you take.
No, that he means like before we do that. Like
Oh,
we have
the
to talk.
sarcophagus
like,
is not negotiable.
Well, we're not negotiating. We're just asking, like, hey,
You just
give
asked
us like
for time
5
to
damn minutes.
deliberate on whether or not you would give me the sarcophagus.
I didn't say
How do
whether
you
or
know
not
that's
we
what
would
we're
give it to
deliberating?
you. We just need to talk. You showed up at Carmila's doorstep, unannounced.
I don't
Dr.
think
Savage
you
is
know-
gonna do his best to, like, sign with his eyes to Violet and maybe anybody else that's specifically looking, get in the fucking car.
DM,
Yes.
can I use fast talk to try to convince him?
Use your words, and then you could roll the dice after.
Listen, buddy, I know what it seems like, but trust me, that's not what the case is. Like, you took us off guard. This whole thing was a huge mess. All we need to do is just talk to each other and make sure that we're all on the same page, and we can't do that with you hovering over us. So just be a good lad and give us 5 minutes, please.
So, you're gonna need an extreme success and fast talk.
Oh, God. I don't know
And,
which dice to use.
Just for context, you guys are near the garage, but how we've described it, there's at least a wall between where the vehicles are and like her like personal space with like the kitchenette and that type of stuff.
Right,
So, like,
right.
if anybody, just for context, if anybody tries to make a move out of the room that you're all in, it's going to be obvious.
Right.
Oh, that was a great
I still
regular
think we bolt
success.
for the car and ram it out of the garage and get the fuck out of here. That's my idea.
Okay, so let's hear the result of the roll before we metagame too much.
That was a
Sure.
regular success.
Archibald, there isn't
Yeah?
anything to discuss about the sarcophagus. I know it's here. I can fucking see it. I'm asking you to hand it over, or I'm going to start killing you, one at a time.
All right.
Sounds like decision's made.
Archibald walks over to Violet and he reaches into his pocket, pulls out a handkerchief, and he's gonna act as if he's wrapping up the sarcophagi, but he's not really doing that. And he winks at Violet and tells her to run. And
Violet.
slowly walk.
What are you doing?
If Violet runs, Carmila's firing. Just putting that out there.
You can wait until I hand him the empty bundle of fucking rags.
Dude, he's gonna Viltrumite you if you do that.
Yeah, go ahead. Fuck it. Somebody's got to help us escape.
I mean, like, shit, I'll fire the moment I see someone run. Carmila's fingers on that trigger.
Violet paying attention to what Dr. Savage is doing and then what Archibald's doing. She's going to try to sneak out and run.
Okay, give me a stealth roll. You need an extreme success, otherwise he's going to notice immediately.
Oof. Oof.
Can I hand him the rags first?
You can hand him,
Distract.
you can hand him the rags, but like he's keyed in, like his perception, like he's.
Can I attempt to
focused.
distract him in any way? I'm just like, hey, look, I've got the sarcophagus. Here you go, buddy. Look at me, not at her.
All right.
That was a fail.
Okay, I got a distraction. I'm just gonna chuck the chloroform bottle right at his face and run.
Okay, so I know Carmilla has been holding the action as well. Carmilla, if you're firing at this point, go ahead and roll. Dr. Savage, roll a throw for your chloroform. And then we're gonna step through this one at a time.
Okay.
Oh
I got it.
shit! That's a 1.
Fuck yes!
So, for Dr. Savage, the bottle nails him in the face. You see it splatter, and it literally slides off, and he turns at you briefly before focusing back at Violet.
I'm not. I dipped. I Zoidberg. I threw that bitch and woo 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 and fucking ran.
By all means, you can move your full movement, which I think is like maybe 15, 20 yards. But at the moment, he's not necessarily worried about you because you don't have what he wants.
I got a 24, and my half, which I think is a normal success, is a 25.
So you got a regular success?
Yeah, because I got a 50, 25, 10. So yes.
Okay, go ahead and roll your damage. He's not.
So you got a hard success.
Yeah, she got a hard success.
Okay, roll your damage +1, and then it'll be halved.
All right, let me see here. Damage. Okay. So 1d3 plus DB.
Your
damage bonus.
I don't think you have one.
I do not. I wished. +1, that's going to be a 5.
Okay, so he will take 3.
Wait, if it's a double, if it's a shotgun, is it just a single? Let me see.
A double means you can fire again on your next turn without having to reload.
It's a shotgun, but it doesn't really. Oh wait, hold up.
I just described.
Correctly,
Sorry, that the only weapon I have on, so I have my shotgun, but on my weapon damage it just says brawl, so that wasn't even my shotgun damage. What's the shotgun damage? Does anyone know?
Not with having to dig into the rule book. I could have swore I put it in the chat, and a while back.
I may have forgot.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think I've given it to you a couple times. For now, we're just gonna go with what you got, unless you can track it down in the next little bit. For you, Violet, as you go to move, he basically moves.
Oh, it's 46.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead and roll that, and then give me that amount. Violet, as you go to move, he clears the room almost instantly, and basically blocks your path and kind of puts his hand on your shoulder. Now, I don't think you were considering leaving, were you? At least not until you hand that over. I think this is going to be the last time I ask. And this is as the shotgun blast kind of on his shoulder is morphing back. Even the silver bullets that you were using, Carmilla, they basically just push out of his skin onto the ground.
It was 20 damage.
Okay, so he only took 10.
Frick.
Enough's enough, everybody.
I think we only have one choice.
Now, if you'd be so kind.
you're muted.
I think she's contemplating what she wants to do.
I mean, we can't give it to him. Come on.
I'm out of ideas, so unless anybody else has an idea.
I ran to the car, so I'm over there, if not already starting it.
Okay,
Dog, I
well,
just hit him with a shotgun blast, like point blank.
I know that didn't work last time. It didn't work this time. No surprise. I'm trying to run.
You can get into the car, but by the time we get the damn garage door open, we'll all be dead anyway.
I'm ramming right through that fucking garage door.
What are you doing, Violet?
Miss, I don't really see any other choice here.
Violet not knowing what to do with this situation is just gonna, at this point, doesn't want to die. Is just gonna hand it over.
Thank you, Lassie. It's not as fun murdering whenever there's literally no fight left in the gang. And he'll morph back into Morietti at this point. I do hope that you guys have better luck finding the rest of them. Don't worry, my eyes will be on you, so I'll know whenever you do manage to track them down. I don't like letting them come out during the day, but let this just be the last warning that if you don't continue on with what we agreed upon, they will come after you. Until next time! And he'll walk out the front door and close it nice and gently behind him.
I really hate that guy.
I think that went better than I expected.
That went terribly. We gave him exactly what he wanted.
Better than expected.
Well, it was either
Better
that or we all
than
die.
to do that. I would have rather died. That was. He's
and
got
then
one more thing to killing us all, anyways. Might as well get it over before the apocalypse happens.
Well, and he would have just taken it from our dead hands.
Better to die early than live with the sins that are going to come from this.
That's a great decision for the entire group you're making right there.
Archibald walks over to Violet and puts a hand on his shoulder and says, "Listen, you did the right thing, but maybe skip this part in your book."
I don't skip anything in my books as I'm writing it. As I pulled out my notebook after he left and was writing everything down.
As you guys kind of like reconvene into the room here, you'll see Gilus in the corner as his hand on the glass of whiskey that he had poured right before this happened, just like sheet white, and like the whiskey's like spilling over the top, and he's just non-vocal at the moment.
That's a good idea. Archibald walks over and just takes the glass from him and starts drinking it. Thanks.
Can I try to do a psychoanalysis on him?
Yeah, you can. Go ahead and roll your skill check there. Carmila.
That's a regular success.
Perfect. Carmila, as you look, it almost seems like the silver bullets, they came out, and from what you've heard from the occults, specifically when, God, I'm blanking on her name right now. Lorna had brought up potentially using silver bullets. You knew that it should have like burned and potentially been like the bullet itself should have like almost be melted, and it looks completely solid. So it seems like whatever lore she was using as a basis for werewolves doesn't seem to apply in this particular shapeshifter's case. For your second analysis roll, Bentley, you don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with him as far as like permanent. You get the idea that he's just in a state of shock at the moment. And once the shock is passed, he should be fine.
I'm gonna sit him down on like the couch and like have him just relax.
Perfect. The floor is your guys'. You, prior to the interruption of the djinn, were deciding on what you wanted to do moving forward. Obviously, things have changed a smidgen since that conversation started.
I feel like if the plan was to prevent him from having the sarcophagus in the first place, should have been discussed days ago.
Sometimes we got to think on the fly.
That was not thinking.
Carmila just kind of looked at Archibald and go, and inviting someone into my place?
I didn't see anything different.
Do we know if djinns work like vampires? Do you need to welcome them in first, or?
Ooh, fun.
She just means this ain't your goddamn house. Don't open the goddamn door. She's like, come on in.
For those interested in potentially seeing if you would know anything on djinn and being able to cross the threshold per se, give me an occult or a Cthulhu mythos. I think only a couple of you could roll Cthulhu mythos. Cthulhu mythos will give you more detailed. Occult is going to be based off of rumors of what you've heard at PICA or just any generic occult knowledge you have inherently. The way to think of it is occult is kind of like the ritualistic, like human knowledge, and Cthulhu mythos is like the actual understanding of creatures.
Archibald knows
not
nothing.
even close. Yeah, nothing.
I was gonna say, to be honest, the most likely to be able to succeed would have been Violet. So at the moment, you wouldn't know anything on this. To be honest, even the kind of concept of thinking that could have been a thing is not necessarily in Dr. Savage's repertoire. I wouldn't say that he's encountered like any like vampire or anything like that would fit that bill either. So it's kind of like
that's mainly why he brought up the question to everybody else, because he's at his wits end with the group. Like, we keep making plans and they fall through, so he is definitely pouring himself some moonshine or any hard liquor around.
For those that can't think of a point of direction at the moment, like meta-wise, one option on the table is a no roll to kind of get guidance on kind of potential paths forward. There's a couple things that have been covered over the last handful of sessions that are options for you guys moving forward. Just whether or not you remember them in real life versus what your character should remember in game. And the no roll is just basically just a straight intelligence roll.
Okay, I was like, I don't see a no.
I think it's written off to the side on your guys' character sheet next to like intelligence. It's like K and O.
It says education is no.
Oh, that's it. Education. Sorry.
Okay.
Basically,
so we can roll that if we want to.
Yeah. So like and this is for any sessions moving forward. It's always been on the table, but like if you get stumped, like you can't remember like I was told this piece of information somewhere because it's not in your notes or whatever, a no roll is your chance to kind of like remember something your character should already know.
So
Okay, well that's a hard success.
2 hard successes, nice. Anybody else rolling on that one?
I rolled an extreme success.
Oh, nice.
I think Bentley will pass.
Okay, so Dr. Savage and Archibald, you guys, obviously the main sort of thing is tracking down the sarcophagus, but you guys do recall that one of the things that Reginald had recommended is you play nice and make like progress towards those to like appease, because he basically had told you that if you're outside the walls of PICA, you will be watched essentially, and had warned that like this potential encounter you guys just had could happen, and The other option is kind of like working on getting the ritual going, and you could do that safely inside the walls of PICA. The reason why it's safe, and this, Violet, you remember this specifically, PICA is heavily warded. So while you guys are inside the walls of PICA, there is no chance of you being watched by any of these beings. And it's Reginald's theory that once you have researched the ritual, you should be able to conduct it within the walls of PICA, which will force the djinn into wherever location you want inside those walls. So, like, in theory, if you were to do the ritual in one of the cells there, you could basically do it in a confined, safe space without having to confront him at all. It just takes research to update the ritual to this specific djinn.
It seems to me like we did the right thing. Just in a roundabout way. We got to the right thing.
I'm confused on how we did the right thing because we gave the enemy the sarcophagus. I thought we don't want that to happen.
Yeah,
Yes.
And they're gonna
I was gonna say, the only thing, as you guys are like remembering kind of the conditions, the only thing you could have potentially done better was going straight to PICA.
Right.
Carmila goes, and they're gonna keep coming back for more of those fucking boxes. You know? Like protection.
Well, we were told to play nice if we had to.
Carmila's gonna go check on the guy in the punching bag.
I forgot that there was a dude in the punching
Jesus.
bag.
He's still breathing, but like he had just barely been stabilized by Dr. Savage before you put him in the punching bag. So like his breathing is shallow, and like whether or not he should be sleeping in this sort of state is probably unwise. But like that's currently he's asleep in the sleeping bag, kind of slumped in it. I'm pretty sure every medical professional would be cringing at the current setup of him.
Yep.
Okay. This got out of hand very quickly. We could argue about what was the right choice and what we could have done differently. I would argue that we did the choice that would allow us to change the direction of the outcome in the future. Yes, none of us wanted to give him the sarcophagus. But now we're alive to figure out a better fucking plan going forward. So, I think we ought to go to PICA to let them know what's happened, what sarcophagus we're planning on finding next, and what to do once we've found it. Or set up a staged operation to where we have a quick evacuation with PICA backing us once we find it.
Honestly, at this point, I think we either have PICA with us or we don't do anything.
I agree. As Archibald finishes the drink he stole from Gillis. To PICA.
It's currently right around like 5-6 p.m. So kind of like dusk time frame. It's like late fall, so it's like, or early fall, so it's like September time frame if I'm not mistaken on our timetable at the current moment. So it's getting a little chilly here in New York, but like you still have a little bit of daylight before it would get dark. I mean, you guys have cars with headlights, so if you are making the trek to PICA, it shouldn't be too wild, and as far as you could guess, it should be a fairly uneventful ride. The way the djinn had left it on the table is that as long as you guys are making progress, they will simply watch and not engage. anything else here before making the trip down to PICA, or are you wanting to stay here for the evening before making the trek?
Meta-wise, just so I'm remembering correctly, we're on a ticking clock. What exactly does that entail?
He had told you that you needed to meet back with him in 1 month's time to reveal the location of all the sarcophagus, and if you acquired any, to bring them to him at that point. Basically, you were given the task of giving him where the sarcophagus are, or the physical sarcophagus, by the next moon.
Okay. I would like to take a look through any open windows and see if I can't close them all.
Like, what are you trying to do? Like blinds, or like
Yeah,
physically close?
like blinds. I want to see if there's anything outside, and then close the blinds.
Okay. As you're looking, the crows that were outside the house, whatever you guys that had followed you and then posted up whenever you guys went in the building, they're still there. As far as being able to close the windows, in my head I had imagined that the windows were already all closed. As far as like blinds, I would assume with the type of work that Carmila does, she should have the means of blacking them out. So as far as like making that happen, it should be pretty easy. As you're doing this, you kind of get the impression that like they don't necessarily care what's going on inside the building. They are watching what happens whenever you go in and out, essentially.
Even still, once all the blinds are closed, Bentley is going to start writing in a journal. And the message will just basically say, we're not going to be obtaining any more sarcophagus. We can find the locations, but we cannot put ourselves in a situation like that. We'll be working directly with PICA, but we will no longer be grabbing any of them.
I assume what you're doing is you're trying to be silent with communication.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bud will read it and nod in agreement.
And then I'll write a second passage. We have little to no leverage, even when we had a sarcophagus. That still did not allow us to even get away with our lives. So, we find locations, and that is it. So we can maybe come up with a plan for ambush or a way to take him out.
I don't agree. He didn't kill us right off the bat. He could have easily done that, but he didn't. He didn't every time we tried to do something. Clearly, there's something we're not using. Or maybe we should just destroy him. Maybe that's what was stopping him.
Archibald, give me a no roll.
Feeling lucky with... We'll try the mini ones. That's a regular success.
Perfect. Based off of the encounter at Ross's Corners, you know that none of your physical attacks on that djinn did jack either, and that it took the ritual to get rid of him. So your thought process is that more than likely is he doesn't feel endangered at all, so keeping you alive or killing you is kind of indifferent for him because he doesn't feel threatened at the moment.
Right. Archibald, following Bentley's lead, is gonna walk over and just yank the notebook out of his hand and take his pen and start writing it as well. And what he writes is like, look, we can't do anything to them physically. It took a ritual, and as I recall, that was scary as shit, but that's what took it out.
Yeah, see, because Archibald went insane halfway through the ritual.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. I agree more with Bentley than anything else. This seems like the plan that's going to keep us alive.
I was more or less
And
talking about the
P.S.
sarcophagus, not the dude. He took 2 shotgun blasts and didn't flinch. I'm not worried about the djinn. I'm more worried about next time, why don't we just go straight to PICA with the car? That was kind of the plan, but then we ended up here, and I don't know.
Archibald looks at, God damn it, Dr. Savage continues to write.
Oh my god, are you gonna write every time you're talking?
I think that's the consensus that we all came to, bud. Also, P.S. Carmila, sorry for pissing you off, and then like thrusts Bentley's notebook into Dr. Savage's hand.
Just simply for formulating the plan. I'm not suggesting we write in notebooks the entire time.
Yeah, Dr. Savage doesn't read the last note that was even written. He just gets in the car and waits for people to go off somewhere. He's just like, he joined this crew to help medically, but he's like watching the last few plans bumbled around. He's just like, I guess I'm either going to die in this adventure or watch everybody else die. Either way, I'm just getting in the car.
I suppose we can actually formulate a genuine plan now.
I think that's directed either at Violet or Archibald, since I think you're the only two still in the room.
I'm sorry, you want to repeat that, Bentley?
As Dr. Savage goes to get into the car, Bentley says, I guess we can actually formulate a genuine plan now.
Agreed. I still think we should get the PICA.
That's always going to be the plan. It's talking about what we do after, but we can have this conversation under their protection, I suppose.
It might be best. As he turns and goes and gets in the car, and he like scooches up real close to Dr. Savage.
As you guys make your way to PICA, it's starting to get a little dark, and like obviously there's a little bit of a lingering sort of tension just based off of what you guys have gone through. Like everybody's on edge. You do notice that a couple of the crows follow you guys to the outskirts of New York, but it seems about once you get outside the city limits, they let you go. You don't know if that's just they don't feel like leaving New York, or if they expect another team to pick up once you guys get to Arkham. At least whenever you enter into Arkham, there's no indicator that anybody's following you immediately when you get there, but you're able to make it in. It's currently the night crew, so if you guys recall, PICA runs on like a 24-hour sort of ops, so now it's probably about 8, 9 o'clock-ish. It's a couple hours from New York over to Arkham. So like there is food options at the cafeteria. Reginald's currently not in the office, although he is on call. If you guys would like to have a conversation with him, you could just talk with the secretary at the front. It's Rita, who you guys are all familiar with. But other than that, I will hand it over to you guys on how you would like to proceed at this point.
At this point, showing up to PICA, I realize that it's on kind of like a rotational type of shift, being like a 24-hour thing. Who is like a contact we could speak with, kind of about what we found?
Your guys' primary liaison is Reginald. So if you'd like to have a conversation with like leadership, you would just need to let the secretary know. It'd be probably about I have to say like 30 minutes from whatever you talk with the secretary before Reginald would be there, so you'd have a little bit of downtime before he got there. But that eventually you would be able to have the conversation with Reginald to kind of talk through things with him if that's desire.
What does everyone think? We ask for Reginald and try to get something to eat.
What time is it? Like 8 p.m.?
9 p.m. And the only reason why Reginald's not here is he's the day shift. Like, he works day shift primarily unless he has a reason to be here at another time. There's other people in the building, but, like, as far as, like, management goes, Reginald runs the show. So, like, if you were specifically wanting to do research, there's plenty of people to talk to for, like, the libraries.
Right.
Or, like, the training rooms or any of that stuff. There are people here for that. But specifically, if you're, like, are wanting to debrief, you would just have to ask Reginald to come in. It's not a hardship.
Why don't we drop the guy off so we can interrogate him tomorrow? I'd like to do a little more researching. I think would be beneficial, and we can just meet up in the morning once we've all had some good rest.
Everyone else?
Carmila's gonna... Where is the guy, by the way? Is he in the punching bag, or did we put him somewhere else? Or is he still in that bitch?
I thought we brought him.
Dr. Savage implied that you guys brought him. Unless there was someone else that really did not want to bring him, I would say you guys brought him in one of the cars.
Oh, okay. No, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, no, then Carmila's gonna just head back to her garage and
You're heading back to New York?
We're at PICA headquarters in Arkham, about 3 hours away from the drive.
I forget how far the headquarters is. Oh my god, sorry.
I mean, you could choose not to go with the group to PICA if you would prefer.
No, I'll go. No, absolutely go. I forget how far away it is sometimes. Yeah, that's totally fine. She's probably gonna find some couch to crash on.
There are rooms here. Like, you guys have, like, dormitory style rooms that you can use. So if you're wanting to just go rest, like, it's a pretty basic setup. It's got, like, a dormitory bed, a desk, and a shower. And that's kind of the extent of what is the amenities. But as far as, like, wanting to rest, suffices.
Okay. Then, yeah, she brought a whiskey bottle with her, so she's gonna go sit in the shower and drink that. Try to calm down. She's a little on edge still.
Okay. Violet, what was your opinion on it?
Violet's also thinking that rest will be a good thing for all of us to get. So she's going to go ahead and call up her driver and go to her apartment to rest for the night.
Okay, so you're going to head back to New York?
I forget I'm in New York too. Never mind.
Yeah, the only people that live in Arkham are Gillis and Dr. Savage. Everybody else lives in New York.
Yeah. I mean, if you really want to stay here, you can use Dr. Savage's nice little place, but that's it.
Yeah, I'll go to one of the rooms in PICA.
Bentley's way the fuck out of his hometown. Although, we might have to readdress that next time we have it down, like a developmental phase, because I imagine at some point Bentley probably wants to have a permanent residence closer to where he's working now.
Potentially. Currently, PICA is not paying the bills, so...
Yeah, unless you decide to work for them full time, that's what Lorna does.
Yeah, I mean, because it was talked about in the early sessions, because Bentley is a psychologist, that he had the occupation to perform psychology sessions for people for some cash. He just hasn't had the time. As the group is kind of going out to their own rooms, I guess Bentley will try to find a room for himself, and he'll probably just end up staying up for a while, just spinning the barrel of his pistol.
Okay. For those that wanted dinner before heading to bed, it's a decent one. It's a chicken pot pie tonight. And they, like I've said before, they have coffee, whiskey kind of on tap here. as well as kind of like an open cafeteria style.
Okay, well then I think I'll probably change. Like I'm more or less going to be doing the same thing. I'll grab some food and like a glass of whiskey on the rocks, and just kind of sip at it, spin the barrel of my gun in the cafeteria, till it's way too late, and probably get a couple hours of sleep.
Gotcha. Dr. Savage, you had mentioned wanting to do a bit of research. Do you want to save that for tomorrow, or are you wanting to stay up a little bit? I guess not super late. It's about 9 o'clock right now, but are you wanting to do some of that research tonight?
Yeah, he wanted to spend an hour or two just to basically just research djinns in general.
Go ahead and give me a library use roll.
Okay, let's see. Okay,
He's going to the library.
Ooh, that'll be extreme success. 10 for a 14.
Part of the reason why you're able to kind of track down some stuff pretty quickly is the group already has quite a bit of notes. So like, what I imagine is Dr. Savage has finally had some time to like look over what everybody else has already compiled.
Right.
From what you've learned, djinn is more or less the Arabic term for demon. They often get misconstrued because in popular culture, even at this time period, they are mixed up with the kind of like genie concept of like granting wishes, but in reality what it would be is kind of like a crossroads demon sort of thing of like,
right,
you ask a wish and they may or may not grant it at a cost, or they twist your wish essentially. So like at least what you can gather from everybody's notes, the issue you run into a lot of times as you're compiling this is these are all Arabic sort of mythological creatures, so like it's being transcribed language, so like the translation at this day and age isn't as great as what we currently have, so there is some interpretation that's kind of played into here. Plus it's, you know, how mythology works is it's each time you find something, there's slight differences between each one, so it's hard to pinpoint the truth on any of them. The specific demon, or the specific djinn that you guys are working on getting rid of at the moment, seems to be the father of shapeshifters, which implies all these golden-eyed creatures that you guys have encountered are actually shapeshifters. What they would shapeshift into, you're not sure. You assume that this would be like the father of werewolves, the skin changers, like all of those sort of variety, which it seems like there's a decent consensus that silver does work against them, so you think that maybe the offspring are weak to that, and the reason why the djinn isn't is because he's a demon, so he's different as far as like mythological creatures go. But you're not sure. Obviously, this is all theory based. You do know that,
right? So he notices that like there's not an actual record of a djinn being killed in this place.
Yeah, the only record you have is the one from your group, specifically Archibald, Gillis, and Violet, and Dr. Morietti. Those were the individuals involved with it, and it required a ritual that just banished them to another realm. From your understanding, that djinn isn't killed, and based off of the testimonies of some of the other members, you know that he has reached out to everybody in their dreams since he was banished. So it seems like he's still alive and kicking, just isn't on this plane.
Right, they sent him back where he came from, but that's all they could do.
Essentially. And it seems like...
So, the top of the note was this is... djinns come from Arabic culture? Or the understanding?
Like, if you were to look at it from, like, Western culture, they would just be called demons. Djinn is specifically the Arabic term for it.
Right. Okay. I guess to finish up his research, if this is fine, he'd like to see if there's any Arabic, like, town or place of worship in Arkham nearby? Maybe somewhere he can ask them if they know anything.
Give me. Oh shit! I should have pulled up a character sheet so I have reference to these. I don't remember what all of them are off the top of my head because they're all
Bad
fucking
DM.
different. They're all fucking different. The D&D ones, because I was gonna call for a culture
How
roll,
dare
but
you?
I don't think culture exists. Because specifically, you're looking at like a mosque is kind of what you're looking for.
Yeah. Or like a little China area, somewhere that clearly is like this culture.
Give me a no roll to see if you would know of if this even exists in Arkham or New York.
Okay, that's a 52, so that'll just be regular success.
From your generic knowledge, you know that while America at this point in time does have a decent influx of immigrants, they're more commonly from other cultures. It seems like the Middle East and like most of the Arabic sort of cultures just don't have the means of making the trek. Not saying that there aren't any in the United
Sure.
States. It's pretty limited. So if you were trying to
Right.
learn from like a religious standpoint, you would have to be able to track down like specific families to maybe find a means of like what their
Right.
rituals and like religion would be. As far as like a public place, there's not a large enough population to have like a Chinatown or anything like that where there would actually be a
Right.
lot of like-minded individuals in a group, unfortunately. As far as like the religion sect goes, give me another library use roll.
Okay. Let's see. Ooh, 33. That might be. That was just barely a hard success.
Gotcha. And once again, you have the benefit of some of the research from the rest of the group. They had kind of
Okay.
pieced together that the names of everybody involved, the djinn-wise, that they've been able to acquire, and specifically Al Amar, that is one of the leading generals as far as like religion goes for Satan. Basically, the Arabic version of Satan. His like fallen. He's a fallen angel, and whenever he came, he basically became the king of demons. And these jinn, the 7 that you're collecting, effectively would bring about one of the leading generals of Satan, as far as you can track down. Basically, there's like a little bit of mythology, a little bit of like religion, kind of all mixed in together, and it gets hard to tell what's what, because you know that the Quran specifically mentions that these are all evil beings, but like it doesn't get into the particulars of them. But now you've kind of pieced together like mythologically, these are basically generals and lieutenants of Satan.
Right, and we have no clue what we're doing, basically.
Yep, and that's the fun of Call of Cthulhu.
Right. Well, yeah, definitely. Dr. Savage is going to bed with the plan that we need more knowledge.
Okay, any other parting shots for the evening?
Nope.
Okay, we'll go ahead to the next day here. It's kind of like standard business here in PICA. There's a little bit more hustle and bustle during the day. But other than that, there's not much different in the building. Reginald is available. He gets in like 7 or 8 in the morning. It does sound like a few of you did have rather late evenings. As far as food down in the cafeteria, it looks like they went with a sort of flapjack sort of day. So there's plenty of pancakes with an assortment of different syrups that you can do, some sides of bacon and sausage. Pretty standard fare for breakfast.
I'm gonna think Carmilla kind of drank herself to sleep. She actually passed out in the tub
Sounds about right.
with the shower going. She'll be the last one to make it to dinner. I mean, to breakfast.
Bentley, the few hours of sleep that he got, whether it was because of the alcohol or the fear or the anger stirring through, didn't get much sleep. He wakes up. If you could see his eyes from under his hat, they have more bads than he has bads on his person. But he's walking down, pants unbuttoned, like walking down the stairs, shirt untucked. He's got another glass of very room temperature whiskey that he's still sipping on. Hair of the dog, right? Is that that's what it's called?
Yeah. All right, Violet.
Violet didn't have any issues staying up, so she woke up feeling very well rested when she got down for breakfast.
Already right away. Okay, I think that leaves Archibald and Dr. Savage.
Archibald is gonna go get breakfast. He's gonna go enjoy those pancakes. But as soon as he can, unless we are like getting together to formulate a plan or talk about stuff now, Archibald would like to do some research. The conversation he had with the djinn on his pocket watch really intrigued him.
Okay, we'll get Dr. Savage first. I would say research at least for an hour or so is probably on the table because Carmilla sounds like she's going to be a little bit late getting down. So, anything for you this morning, Dr. Savage?
No, it seems like PICA doesn't really know much either on the subject. That's more or less why he's going to try to do some more on the ground searching. Maybe try and find like some Arabic people that he can at least ask if they know anything. But that seems like a later down the line thing for today.
Okay. Archibald, go ahead and give me a library use roll. We'll only be able to do one right now, just based off of everybody kind of wanting to talk with Reginald.
Yeah. Come on, metal dice. Come on, metal dice. Off to a good start. Off to a decent start. Shit, where'd my library go? So that's a regular success.
Okay. The only issue you're running into as you start this research is the djinn wasn't overly specific, but he gave you the indicator that it's got some occult sort of nature to it. And you do know that it was heavily implied that a ghost went through him, and that's what stopped the watch, or at least that's what you told everybody. As you're kind of like thinking down this route, you found that sometimes objects can be amplified by encountering supernatural entities, especially apparitions such as ghosts. Whether or not at this point in time you haven't figured out how to access it or figure out what is inside the watch per se, but you get the inkling that there's some lingering supernatural potential in the watch itself.
Okay.
I would say Carmilla is probably like a 10:30, 11 o'clock by the time she's getting down here, unless anybody's getting frustrated that she hasn't come down so you guys can have this conversation and go wake her up earlier. Otherwise, we'll set that as kind of like your guys' timestamp of like finally getting back to Reginald. kind of seeing your guys' faces as you're walking into his office. He's got kind of like the furrowed brow, kind of trying to get a vibe. So, what seems to be on your guys' minds? You seemed rather urgent with wanting to have a conversation this morning, and no offense, but all of you looked rather disheveled, except for you, Violet. But it seems like you're always kind of just along for the ride, as they say.
Well, there's a lot that could be said, but I feel like it'd be better coming from anybody else but me.
I would say
We
that's
ran
a
into-
first.
We ran into our djinn friend
Again?
again.
Well, it seems that it didn't go entirely terrible since you're all alive.
Except that we're down one sarcophagus.
That would do.
There it is.
I mean, he might be more knowledgeable on the ritual process as far as bringing this other djinn back, so it might get released before we can take care of him, but in theory, if we are quick enough with getting rid of him, we should be able to just simply retrieve the sarcophagus again.
He took a shotgun blast full of silver bullets straight, spit them out like they were nothing.
Well, Bentley, I don't know if you read the report from the last djinn encounter, but I wouldn't expect any of our mortal weapons to do anything to him in the first place. It took a ritual to banish the last one, so and more or less what I had recommended is we alter the ritual for him specifically.
That doesn't really do a lot to help us in the moment.
Well, I wouldn't directly look for a confrontation with him and face to face in the first place.
You and me both. As Bentley will like stare the biggest daggers at pretty much the rest of the team.
Archibald will wink at you.
Camila's just rubbing her temple and just looks at you and just shrugs.
Were you able to
I don't know
find
why you're
anything
looking
out?
at me.
What do you mean? You tossed, what, acid in his face and ran to the car?
No, it was chloroform, not acid.
Why are you carrying around a bottle of chloroform?
It helped in the last fight, didn't it?
Dr. Savage, what were you able to figure out last night?
Yeah, so from the research I did last night, it seems like nobody knows what they're doing here about djinns.
Well,
And that was it.
Listen, we've took one out before. You just weren't with us. This was before
You
your time.
have?
If you paid attention to anything that we've said, or I don't know, maybe the notes. Yes, we've taken one out.
Oh, the note said that another team had taken out a djinn. I just didn't think it was this one.
Before, like I said, before your time.
and
You were still a youngin'.
Dr. Savage, I understand your grievances. I know in your medical profession, oftentimes there is less ambiguity in what you're doing. You're able to diagnose and proceed with a known procedure in order to accomplish your means. The whole operation of PICA is dealing with things that most people don't understand. It's all first-hand reports or lore that we're having to deal with, so it's not an exact science unless you have personally dealt with it. And even then, you may encounter a similar creature, but it's not exactly the same circumstances. One demon may not react the same as another, it can be frustrating sometimes. That's why our teams are made of diverse individuals, so that
Right. I guess that makes more sense. Not knowing the field that you're doing is a complicated thing.
as for the process, the best we have is altering the ritual that was conducted at Ross's Corners. Essentially, all we need to do is alter the Latin chant to be directed at this particular djinn. It will take a little bit of time, but if you guys are willing to put in the work, I think you guys could probably have it done within the day if you put the effort into it. You need to have it done.
What are you trying to do with the Latin?
Well, the previous ritual was specifically worded for the djinn in question. We have enough based off of the inscriptions on the sarcophagus and the interior of it that we should be able to alter the Latin phrase that gets chanted during the ritual. We just need to finish altering it, and as you know, Latin can be a little tough for those that aren't initiated. I know as a medical professional that you have some experience. A lot of the medical terms are based in Latin. Once that's done, the ritual can be prepared wherever we'd like it to be. The djinn will get pulled to the ritual circle that we construct. So if you were to, say, set it up in one of the interrogation rooms, a fairly safe environment, and then you should be able to banish it at that point. It is a specific process once we've translated the inscription or the chant. But
do you need help with that? Do you have people that speak Latin?
we do have people. Our teams do tend to get run thin. That's what I was recommending. You guys seem to make your own decisions, but I had recommended having some of you help with doing the translation. One, it would help you learn more on the occult in general, but also it would speed up the process. So based off of what
Dr. Savage would love to do that. He speaks fluent Latin.
For your question in the chat, yes, it is. A lot of medical terms are Latin based.
I did not know that.
Which is why Dr. Savage has such a high Latin score, is because you automatically get some points.
Right. Yeah. All medical terms come from Latin. So
I didn't know that.
English and Latin on my sheet are the same score, so I'm assuming he's fluent.
So I appreciate Dr. Savage. I highly recommend you guys. I will trust you to make your own decisions. But if you had such a confrontational encounter with the djinn, I would recommend getting this ritual done as soon as possible to try and mitigate him from opening the sarcophagus. He might have already, since he's had the evening to do so, but if you can get the ritual done and get him banished, you might be able to stop him from summoning this other one.
We have approximately a month.
Well,
and
what you told me is that the month is when he wants to know where all the locations. That doesn't mean he won't open the sarcophaguses as soon as he gets them. You don't have to have all of them for the ritual. You can open them one at a time.
Well, I guess this is our only choice then. What does everybody think?
Honestly, it's the only solid lead I know of that we've had, so I'm fine with it.
I agree. Now we need to figure out how to even the playing field with these bastards, or we're gonna still be chew toys.
Do you know of any what was the culture of people that you were researching?
Arabic.
So
Do you know of any do you have any Arabic or Muslim communities around here?
Not that I'm aware of. We typically have to, when we're translating anything in Arabic, we're having to outsource it to one of our other field offices, which is why it takes some
Which is
time
where?
in England. It's typically about a 2-day turnaround whenever we want something translated. As far as culture, I know some. What specifically are you looking for, Bentley?
Well, this is all under the pretense that that part of your research was shared, Dr. Savage.
My research didn't show any like places that are here. If they are, they're very small.
Not
to the point you wouldn't
places,
know
but
of.
if you told
Did you
if you told
share
us
like at
about
breakfast what you had researched?
Oh yeah. I mean,
the,
he made like the way you said it. I mainly looked over the party's notes. I thought so.
Some of it's, and then it's, yeah. It was a kind of a combination
Okay.
of it. So you use the party's research to help you find things faster based off of your roles.
Gotcha. Okay.
I just don't think I'm going to be of much use in helping create this ritual, but I can try to help gather more information on what we weren't able to uncover through the research that was available, which seems like it's through Arabic lore.
Right. Well, I don't know Muslim culture well, but usually men keep long beards. Women wear this turban-like clothing. So if you want to try and hunt down any individuals that match that, that would help.
And as far as the ritual itself goes, the Latin translation and update of the chants is a significant portion of it, but Archibald and Gillis and Violet can attest to the ritual itself is a combined effort, so it might be beneficial to go over how the ritual is conducted so that you guys are all prepared going into it. Just I'm not saying you have to go this route, but it will be a combined effort once you start conducting it. The more people chanting, the faster the ritual goes, and the better you can handle any interruptions. The last djinn had a tendency to shapeshift in order to try and entice people into the circle, and having multiple people to prevent one from making a misstep can be very beneficial. I would argue that Archibald is only alive because Gillis managed to pull him out of it before it was too late. So meta-wise, if you can help with the Latin translation / alteration, you could go over the ritual. Anybody partaking in those things, you would get a 2% bump in occult, basically because you're diving into the occult pretty deeply in the process of learning this. You don't have to. You can choose other things to go do, and we can work through those. So at this point, unless you have other things that we'd like to discuss with Reginald, I will let you guys kind of go to your own devices. So anything that specifically involves Reginald.
I don't think so. I think the general idea is to get a report and a direction forward, at least as far as Bentley was concerned.
Okay, who is looking to go assist with the ritual? I'm fairly confident Dr. Savage was. Anybody else wanting to be involved in that process?
Go ahead.
What was that, Violet?
I said I would help with, go with Dr. Savage to help.
And I didn't mention this. One of the options with assisting with the ritual is going through the journal that they use to be able to pull the ritual off. That one, if you are willing to put in the couple hours to read it, will give you a +1 to Cthulhu Mythos and a +5 to the occult. It does come with a sanity cost. Violet, you will only get a 2% boost in occult because you've already read it.
I'll reread it and help go through it again just to refresh it myself.
Okay. Archibald, what are you doing? Good,
Sorry,
sir?
I was talking to Jamie. I'm back.
What was the other option?
Technically, anything's on the table. As far as like assisting with the ritual, it's helping with the transcribing the Latin ritual chant, or like going over the ritual itself to kind of remember how to do it step by step so that you don't fuck it up.
I think Archibald will do that then.
Okay. Bentley.
Bentley, although was a part of the party at the time, was not there for the trapping of the djinn. So I think he'll try to touch up on the ritual.
Okay.
I've got some decent listen and library use skills or history, but I don't know how helpful that will be.
If you're brushing up on the ritual itself, it's just a time commitment. No roll required. There will be, I guess, there will be a sanity damage associated with that one, but it does come with some other benefits, and we'll hit that in a minute. Carmila.
See, she's, I don't know, she's not really a ritual person. She'll help anyone who needs help with muscle, or she'll shadow box in the corner or some shit.
Okay, so kind of wanting to work out.
She's muscle.
Yeah, so like everybody's doing the nerd shit, she's gonna do some work.
Yeah, she's intoxicated to be a bodyguard. I don't know, she's an enforcer.
Pull-ups in the background for more.
That's a fucking literally, dude. And she's like, she's not super shredded, but she's like hefty muscle. Like, she just looks strong as fuck.
Okay. And then Dr. Savage, you said you wanted to help with the transcribing the Latin, right?
Right, he can read and write Latin, so he might as well do it. He can do it.
Okay, go ahead and give me a Latin roll for that one.
Okay. Ooh, nice. I got a 20, so that should be pretty good. That's a hard success.
Yeah, so Dr. Savage, as you're going, there was a group kind of working on this as a tasker, but you can see that they've been pulled to several different projects like over the last couple days from whenever this initially came up. So like you can see someone's notes, then another person's notes, and then the first guy coming back and adding more. So it's kind of like a disjointed effort and not like a consistent thing. But you're able to quickly start putting together what everybody else has worked on and kind of like buckle down and kind of like give it more of a clear line of effort. So it'll still take you a few hours. I would say it's like 2 or 3 to like fully get the chant converted over, and partly it's just due to like looking at the sarcophagus, seeing what terms are used to describe the djinn, and then being able to incorporate that into the chant versus what the previous sarcophagus had said, and kind of narrowing it down that way. So you're going to go ahead and get a +2 to occult, so you can just add 2 to your occult score. And you feel fairly confident that whenever you guys track down these other sarcophagus, if you need to conduct this ritual again, you should be able to alter the chant faster, because you've got down like, I never need to touch these words because they are always the same. It's just these words that I will need to tweak based off of the sarcophagus in general.
Awesome.
For my individuals, kind of reviewing the journal / reviewing the ritual itself, you guys will take 2 sanity damage from going into this journal and reading through it. But the benefit is you will get a +5 to occults and a +1 to Cthulhu Mythos.
Who does that apply to?
That was yourself, Bentley, and Violet. Violet, you only get a +2 to occult. You don't get the Cthulhu Mythos bonus. You will still take the sanity damage, but because you've already read this journal, you've already gotten the max bonus from the first time.
Okay. Does that alter our stats, or?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You guys are getting stat boosts in those 2 categories. The downside is you took a sanity hit.
Okay, what was that for occult? I'm sorry, just remind me of those 2.
5.
+5 to occult, +1 to Cthulhu Mythos.
It should automatically update the numbers on the sheet.
As you guys are going through the journal, you have basically gotten step by step how the ritual is conducted. So you know that you're going to start by drawing out the symbol, basically the pentagon, on the floor. The better material you use, the less likely the circle is to be broken. So like using sand could be really, really bad because it's easy to break. So using like paint is ideal. Just because it's, unless someone really scuffs it up, like the likelihood of the circle being broken is less likely. And you know, if the circle gets broken, especially after the djinn has been summoned, it could be really bad because then the djinn can move freely. If the circle is held intact, it will be locked in the circle throughout the duration. You know that there's a little bit of brown powder that you have to throw into a fire to kind of like start it off, which you do have some left from the encounter at Ross's Corners. The team here at PICA is currently working on acquiring more of it, but you have more than enough for at least this ritual. After you've done those two things, everybody will start chanting in Latin. Once again, the more people that are chanting, the more power is being applied to the ritual, and this will effectively be based off of your guys' power scores. The timeline basically reduces with the number of bodies involved with the chant. Outside of that, you know that once the djinn gets summoned to the spot, the ritual is basically done. You just have like a last little push after it arrives. And based off of the testimonies of Archibald, Violet, and Gillis, you know that the djinn gets incredibly desperate once it is in the circle because it knows that it's very close to being banished. So the likelihood of taking sanity damage from it, altering into a multitude of different forms, can be very, very detrimental. So the gist is, the ritual itself seems to be very straightforward. There just is a inherent risk once the djinn has actually spawned in the circle.
Okay.
It does start at midnight, so you start the ritual at midnight on the dot. So that is the only caveat. Is at this point, you guys seem to have all the tools in place to conduct the ritual, aside from like physically going and creating the summoning circle. But other than that, your guys are kind of just waiting on midnight.
Okay. So is this the type of thing where we would need to like lure him into it, or like we perform the ritual like sarcophagus in hand? Like there's some parts of this I'm missing.
Archibald, if you recall, I will leave this to you to kind of articulate how this happened last time. If you need some assistance, give me a no roll.
There you go. I got our chant ready.
Well, we can do a no roll.
Or Violet.
That's Latin.
So it'd
I was just gonna say that's Latin for put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
Yeah, Archibald got a regular success on that no roll.
Okay, Violet, do you want to weigh in before I feed the answer to Archibald?
That would mean I'd remember fully, and I don't.
Okay. Archibald, you would recall that when you guys had started the chant, the djinn, as far as you could tell, was out in the woods murdering things. And once you had made it pretty deep into the ritual, it was forced into the summoning circle.
That's right. I do. I thought the djinn was in the attic.
It started in the woods, moved to the attic to try and fuck with you from the attic, and then when the ritual got far enough along, it forced it into the circle from the attic.
Right. Okay. And Bentley, your question was just like how this process went.
If
Yeah,
you guys
whether
had to
we need
lure it
to
or
like
So-
yeah, go ahead.
As far as I recall, all we had to do was just start chanting, which seemed a little silly at the time, but after we started doing that, a couple minutes passed, it zapped right into the circle, and then I saw some crazy shit.
So we perform this ritual in PICA's headquarters when this djinn can be basically anywhere where he wants to be, has birds watching us everywhere. And once we do it at midnight, he just poofs into the circle, and then we have to try not to die.
Yeah, I know it sounds like some game that you would play when, we were kids and we were trying to scare the crap out of each other.
It doesn't sound like a game. It sounds convenient.
From whatever distance that Carmila is, where she's doing like sit-ups or something, like ridiculous sit-ups where she's like hanging upside down. Every time she goes up, she goes, "We also need bullets that hurt these fuckers."
They don't work. None of it works. The research says nothing physical harms them because they're not from this world.
Even last time, listen here, lad. I had a gun, and I almost killed someone. Not the djinn.
Indeed.
Yeah, everybody, human-wise, can die, but the djinn that we know of has no way to be killed.
Yeah, really, and I hate to say this because I know you're all like, guns and stuff, they solve all the problems, but it's the more dangerous stuff we have around us, the more danger we put ourselves in, which we are already doing a pretty damn good job of doing that.
I don't have a lot of faith that this ritual will work, as convenient as it sounds. But if it works, I guess it works.
Listen, I've seen it before. And I don't know if you know this, but I've seen ghosts before. And apparently there might be one in my pocket watch.
I mean, honestly, yeah. Well, between the pocket ghost and also literally watching the human transform into a demon, nothing's really out of the realm of convenience or question at this point.
Skeptical.
You just gotta have faith.
Don't have a lot of that in this industry.
Well, do what I do. Grab a bottle of scotch and drink some faith.
I can agree to that. He's gonna go out to the bar and go get himself a drink and come back to clink the glass.
Well, I'll take a double while you're over there.
Nope.
He gets up and follows Bentley over begrudgingly.
Okay. So as of right now, you guys know that the earliest you can conduct this ritual is at midnight. I would say by the time you guys are done with all the research and stuff, it's like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. So you have a few hours. I say a few. You have several hours between now and then that you can kind of fill with other things that we would like to do, or like resting beforehand. Once you kind of filled in your progress to Reginald, he is basically like said that he will make sure to be there for the ritual with you guys, to assist if needed, and kind of just oversee and make sure the staff is prepared if anything starts to go wrong during the process, since it's going to be happening inside the PICA building. But other than that, you guys have a little bit of downtime beforehand.
So,
yeah, Dr. Savage definitely will give him a firm shoulder slap and be like, yeah, this time around, let's make sure everything's checked a few times, right?
Well, I can say that the warding on this building is literally put into the support structures. So unless they manage to physically take down the steel beams and concrete, they're not coming in here.
I hate to break it to you. In this djinn's real form, it's got claws that cut through concrete. I've seen it myself.
Well, as far as that's concerned, as long as you guys don't break the circle or stop the chance, he doesn't get out of the circle once it starts.
I can see it falling apart already. Like, very much buzzed at this point. To try to get his mind basically on anything else, he's gonna go try to find like a newspaper and like try to find like apartment listings or like try to see if I can find like a house with like a shop with like an apartment at the top, something. He's doing anything to get his mind
like
off
some
of
house
it
hunting.
right now. Yeah.
As you're going, for those of you that have seen like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Reginald is based off of Giles, the lore keeper for her, and so he kind of like exasperated like with the glasses. It's like, what's wrong with him? Like, it's fairly sound on paper. As far as the house hunting goes, go ahead and give me a. What did I want? Give me a luck roll.
I beat that by 1. That's a 34 from 35.
Okay. Arkham's market is a little bit narrower just because it's a smaller city comparatively to like New York. But the beauty of it being a smaller town is like the options that you are able to find have a little bit more yard and like kind of like cozy sort of setting to it. And there are a couple of like 2-story buildings, so like you could see the potential of setting it up is like you live out of the top and use the bottom as like an office. Look like you were going to say something, so if you would.
Oh, I just said yeah. Like that's kind of what I'm looking for.
Perfect. It'll cost you a little bit, but like you know that like the first few months might be a little tight, but once you get up and going, you shouldn't have any issues.
Okay, and then Colton's character, I can't remember his name.
Gilus.
Gilus, he runs a therapeutic practice, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, Gillis' practice is in New York.
Okay.
The closest example of like running a business out of like, oh no, because I think we determined that Dr. Savage actually has a separate clinic from his home. So,
okay.
I would say you guys have interacted enough and been in New York long enough that you've seen Gillis's house, but he doesn't run his practice out of his house. He runs it in a separate building.
Okay, I think
My
I might
practice
just.
is in the same building, just for clarification. I live above it.
Okay. So
I think I might just circle the listing and just like I'll come back eventually to the group now that his head is a little bit more clear.
Perfect. Okay. Anything for the rest of the group before the ritual?
Yeah, remind me again what we can do to fix our sanity.
Unfortunately, while we're actively in a sequence like this, there's not really a method for recovering sanity. It is once we hit the developmental phase, you can meet with a psychologist, you can do psychoanalysis, or kind of like interacting with your key focus is another method. But those are all during the developmental phase, so meta-wise, until you've handled the situation with the shape-shifting djinn, you guys won't really have an opportunity because you're kind of like in the mix at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, there's really nothing for Archibald then.
anybody else?
Violet's gonna do her thing and like check up on her notes from the last few days, make sure her notes for her book are accurate for the events.
Okay, go ahead and give me a library use roll.
That was a fail.
We'll say that Violet, despite her calm outer demeanor, is actually reeling a little bit from the confrontation with the djinn. Mostly because he physically laid hands on you and more or less forced you to hand over the sarcophagus. And while the rest of the party sort of helped in that instance, it seemed to make everything worse so that you got singled out. Whether or not it was intentional or not, the chloroform being thrown and then Dr. Savage running off the vehicle and then Carmila shooting it, it seemed that you were put in a situation where like you had to make the choice of your personal life or the sarcophagus, and then after the fact, Dr. Savage basically condemned you for making the decision you did, and it's making it hard to focus on the details because, like in real life, if you're in that type of situation, getting the facts straight of the sequence of events can sometimes be incredibly hard because you're having to basically experience those emotions again, which is making it really tough for you at the moment. Okay. We're going to take a 5-10 minute break, and then when we get back, we will get into the ritual. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started with the ritual. So at this point, you guys have started the preparation portion for the ritual, so like the actual drawing and all that jazz. The current setup is in one of the interrogation rooms. There is a makeshift fireplace kind of set up in here for like the burning of the powder. For whoever would be inclined, it can be a team effort. Give me an art craft roll, specifically like drawing art, or an occult roll to get the initial pentagram drawn here on the floor. There's no really a penalty for failing aside from it taking a little bit longer to get the circle drawn, but
The highest in either category I have is a 10. I'm willing to help, but like it's unlikely I'll be able to do much.
Yeah, I have a higher roll in occult because the only thing I have in art craft is photography.
Okay, I'm rolling occult.
Same. That's not even close to a success.
Wow.
I've got.
I rolled an 88 when I needed a 10.
I rolled a 31 when the highest I could roll is a 32, so I got a regular success at least.
Nice. Go ahead, Violet.
I rolled occult as well and got a regular success.
Nice. It's one of those that Dr. Savage and Bentley, you're doing your best, but you weren't there the first time. But Archibald and Violet have experienced this before. And while it takes a little bit to kind of like coach you through the different parts of like what it needs to be angled with and everything, you guys are all as a team able to get the pentagram kind of done at a decent amount of time. I mean, it's large enough. I would say in the interrogation room that you have, it takes up probably like half the room in the center. So there's plenty of space around it so that you guys aren't like right up on the circle as you're chanting. But that will get us into throwing the brown powder in with the fire. Whoever's wanting to do this, go ahead and give me a dex roll to get the timing right. Because ideally you're trying to land it right on the stroke of midnight. It isn't necessarily inherently detrimental not to land it exactly right, but it does seem to boost the power of the ritual if you can time it.
Carmila, do you have a better dex than I do?
Let me see. Let me check.
I have 70.
My dex is regular is 40, half is 20, and fifth is 8.
Yeah, I think Dr. Savage has it.
Oh my god.
Because I've got 60.
Okay, I'll try to shoot for the goals. 22, so that'd be a hard success.
Perfect. As everybody's kind of gotten in position, and at this point, who is planning on being part of the chanters?
Archibald for
I
sure.
am. For
I will.
sure.
So just to make sure that I'm on the same page, so we have some chanters, and like if you're not doing that, we have Dr. Savage that's throwing the dust.
Everybody
Anyone
can
else would
chant
just be
if
helping?
they like. Everybody can chant because the chanting starts after the powder is thrown in.
Okay, I guess I'll help chant.
There is some benefits, and Archibald can to attest to it, of having someone as like the watcher to make sure if someone like gets mesmerized by the entity once it's in the circle, to like pull them back into reality, sort of thing.
Okay.
But
All right.
the more chanters you have, the shorter the ritual is.
I think Bentley would be more comfortable being the watchful eye.
Okay. And then Carmila, chanting or hanging out on the sides?
She's doing squats on the sides.
Okay.
Well, if that's the case, then I will chant.
Perfect. So we got 5 chanters. Dr. Savage, you're able to time this just right with the powder, and you'll notice that like when it hits the fire that you guys have set up in the room, it like plumes up into like this sort of like almost like the oil slick sort of look, where it's like all the colors like at once as it kind of like flares up before it stabilizes, and then everybody starts chanting at that point in time. All of my chanters, please give me a power roll.
Ooh. DM, that is an
Power
extreme success.
Nice.
That's a 3.
Where's power?
It's one of your
Main stats.
key stats, yeah.
How?
Oh,
Punchy's
okay.
a power.
Yeah, I see that now. Ooh, okay, regular success.
Okay, and what was yours, Archibald? And Violet?
Mine was a fail.
Okay. Archibald, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Sorry.
What was your power roll?
Power. Oh, God. Ooh. Ooh, regular success.
Perfect. Violet, you seem to be struggling. Latin is one of those that, like, even though Dr. Savage, like, coached you through the pronunciation before you guys kind of, like, got started, it is one of those that, like, unless you are really, really focused, it is just a tough one to kind of, like, get it right. And you'll, like, stutter on a word instead of just kind of keeping on. You'll, like, get flustered before, like, refocusing. But eventually, and it's partly because of Dr. Savage and Bentley, how well they rolled, is they are, like, very, very focused and, like, loud with their chant. Like, it's almost like you couldn't be heard even if you were chanting, with how forceful they are with this chant at the moment. And Archibald is consistent in the background as well. It's just those two in particular are really bringing it together, and you can feel the ritual enacting, and you can see kind of like the tips of the pentagon sort of lighting up, and the light slowly trickling inwards towards the inner circle. You guys' first 20 minutes seem to go off without a hitch. As you guys are chanting, like, everything seems great. It gets a little exhausting because you're just constantly chanting. Um, and Reginald is assisting as best he can. After about 30 minutes, you guys can hear an alarm start going off in the building, and kind of over the intercom you hear, "This is not a drill. The site is currently under attack. The warding is currently holding up, but we ask all able bodies to take up defensive positions. I repeat, this is not a drill." Before any of you guys even move, Reginald will kind of like wave off. "We have trained for this. Your ritual is more important. Leaving will only give the attackers what they want. Focus on what we've got here." My chanters, give me another power roll.
Roll
Or-
are we doing?
Power or concentration, whichever you choose. It's basically just keeping up with how well you guys are staying focused under chant.
Guessing con is concentration,
Yes.
or is that constitution?
Okay.
Okay.
Both.
Hard success.
Oh,
Perfect.
Regular
Um,
success.
Regular success.
Nice.
Yeah, so like Bentley,
hard.
almost calling what like the like bad shit that's happening. He tries to intensify his chant.
As you guys kind of like buckle down in your chanting, you can see the light getting little closer and closer to like the inner circle here, and the power that you guys are kind of putting into it, like you can feel that you're close, and once it hits that inner circle, there's a light that flares up in the center of it, and before you stands Dr. Morietti, and with the golden eyes. He'll kind of like scan the room. "Oh, I was hoping for Dr. Gillis. I think he referred to her as his white buffalo, the woman he couldn't find, or that he lost. Dorothy, let's just say she's very trusting, and I just wanted to let him know that we'd become acquainted, but it seems that he decided not to be on shift tonight." And you'll kind of see him morph at this point, driving a sanity roll. So everybody give me a sanity roll as I describe this. Before you'll see it looks sort of like a miner, for those that haven't been out west. For you specifically, Bentley, you would recognize this as one of your patients, and they're kind of like laying on the ground. We'll go ahead and do our sanity checks real quick. Archibald, what'd you get?
Hold on, I needed a sanity check.
Yeah, he just morphed in front of you guys again.
God damn it.
God damn it.
Fucking number is that? Yeah, that's a straight fail.
Okay. What was yours, Bentley?
Bentley failed by 1 with a 46.
Okay. Carmilla?
Let me see here. What was the roll again?
Sanity.
Oh, yeah, that's right. More sanity problems, because he's on many moons. Don't judge me, for I have sinned. That's a 37. It's 25.
Okay, so fail. Dr. Savage?
25, so hard
Success.
success, I guess.
Nice. And Violet.
Fail.
For those that passed, so just Dr. Savage, you'll take 3 sanity damage. Everybody else, you're going to take 4.
Okay.
You said 4?
Yes.
Ouch.
Guys, I'm almost.
So, okay,
conceding.
so where do I put my. So I have like 25, and it says. Oh, I see it. Never mind, I see it.
Every
It
time you
says-
take sanity damage, you should be subtracting from your current sanity. You don't
Right.
touch the one that's your like actual sanity score.
Starting, yeah.
Your starting one
Yeah.
can get increased if you go over, if your current goes over what your starting was, then it'll increase your current, or your starting, but that's only applied to a couple characters.
Nice.
But
Yeah.
but before you see a miner that's kind of like laying on his side, looking over at you, Bentley. He's got overalls. He's pretty dusty, and you can see that he's got like it looks like he's been lobotomized, and he's staring right at you. Bentley, can you help me, Bentley? I seen the things, and they drilled the hole, but it's not helping. Can you come get me? I need it.
It's all right, friend. I'm here with you. I'll go through all your pain with you. I'm coming.
For my other watcher, everybody
God.
give me a psychology roll. Except for, obviously, Bentley. Everybody else give me a psychology roll.
Psychology.
All doing psychology?
Or you can accept that your character isn't paying fuck all attention to Bentley and...
Yeah, no. I'm good at psychology.
Yeah. Extreme success for me.
That would be an extreme success for me.
Perfect.
Where's our psychologist when we need him? Or I guess we have
guys-
one.
I'm your psychologist.
Yeah, I mean, Gillis is one as well, but, like, the other really good psychologist is actively being
I
affected.
didn't even know. I thought we only had Gillis for that.
Yeah, I've got a 70 in psychology.
So both
Archibald-
of you
Jesus.
are able to pick up immediately. Archibald, you've seen this happen before, and you've experienced it yourself, but the djinn seems to have its hold on Bentley, at least at the moment, and you both realize that he's going to start moving towards the circle to go assist this individual. And Archibald, you're familiar with what happens if someone gets into the circle. So what would you guys like to do at this point?
What can I do to help Bentley?
There's words, there's physical actions.
I'm coming. Don't you worry.
Bentley.
So I throw something at Bentley's head.
Okay.
That works. Do that.
Okay, Archibald, give me a fast talk. Dr. Savage, give me a
Gladly.
throw. And we'll say you literally ruffle through your fucking coat to grab something, and you happen to have
Yeah.
a tin of mints to chuck at him at the moment.
I chuck it. I needed
What
a
is-
20. I got a fucking 22, so that thing's going by him.
Yeah, you
What is with-
fucking zing it, and it hits the wall, and you see mints spread out.
Fucking tic tacs go everywhere.
That was a failure on that fast talk.
Bentley is going to go dive headfirst into this ritual circle.
No.
As you get
Oh.
close enough, the miner smiles as its arm morphs back into the djinn's arm, and it swipes at you. You can give me a dodge roll at disadvantage.
Well, I tried.
Dodge is half dex. Right?
Yes, you should have a score in the dodge.
Yeah, this is a new character sheet from the last time we played,
Oh,
so
gotcha.
I
Yeah.
didn't have all of the skills updated.
Yeah, it's half your dex.
That is an 88, sir, so that is a fail.
Luckily for you, at least at the moment, the creature has failed as well. It seems to be too greedy with it, and it ends up swiping over your head. Give me a psychology roll to see if you're able to snap out of it off this action.
Be careful, the rocks are falling from the cave. And
Oh my
I do
god.
not. I fail.
At the moment, Bentley's still in the circle. The folks that are continually chanting, give me a power or con check, and then we'll kind of see if you guys can act again before other things may happen to Bentley.
Swear to God, I rolled that 60 again.
Alright, what did we roll or rolling?
Your power or con to maintain the chant.
Yep, that was an extreme success for Archibald.
Perfect.
Regular success for me.
I am a smidge off with a 57 from 55, so
Okay.
fail.
Which narratively makes sense. Dr. Savage, it seems like you kind of focused on Bentley and trying to get him to like get out of the fucking circle. So you've dropped the chant just a little bit. Archibald, you've kind of doubled down on the chant, realizing there's not much else you could do to get Bentley to stop. So you've like focused back onto the chant, hoping that you can just get rid of it fast enough that nothing happens to Bentley. Violet, you've just been consistent throughout it the entire time. Everybody has another chance to act at this point to maybe assist Bentley with like trying to snap out of it.
Bentley, listen to me. Don't do it. Come back to the light. Listen to my voice, son. Just listen.
Why didn't you bring your canary into the cave?
It's not real.
I'm gonna try throwing a fucking wad of cash at fucking Bentley.
He's just got stacks in his other jacket pocket. That he's like,
well, yeah, I have like $50,000 in assets. Apparently, I carry about $500 on me, so I'm just gonna throw like $100 fucking band at them. You know how they come in the little clips, so it's like a little more of a thunk.
I think he's just trying to hit him with anything that he has on his person at this point.
Yeah, I'm just chucking. Maybe the money will distract him if I miss, is the hope.
Okay, same rolls. Give me a fast talk, Archibald, a throw from you.
Oh, thank God. That's a 19, so I barely succeed.
Perfect.
God.
I'm going to go with Archibald didn't succeed. So
Yeah.
the words aren't coming through to you, Bentley, but you do get pegged in the side of the head with cash that forces your attention away from the djinn to look over at Dr. Savage. Go ahead and give me your psychology roll again, but with a bonus die or at advantage.
Does the bonus die replace what
the 10th
slot?
place? So you'll take the lower of the 10th place.
No fucking way. Okay. So that turned from a 98 into an 8, which is a extreme success.
Perfect. As soon as you lock eyes with Dr. Savage, you're like, what the fuck? And are able to kind of like register you're not in a safe place. And the fuckery that you had been worried about with the ritual, you realize it's you, and you immediately like start to back out, and which is great because as soon as you start to register, another swipe had come towards you, and you just barely dodge it because you had already moved out of its sort of space and are able to get out of the circle.
Can I like scurry back and like pop a shot off with my revolver?
If you'd like to take a shot, go ahead and give me a firearms check.
It's a regular success.
You'll see the shot land true. You can go ahead and roll me some damage. For the
That
stats.
is 8. 8.
Perfect. So it'll take 4, but once again, you kind of see the shot land basically like in the lobotomized hole on their head.
Oh, no.
And then it kind of like spits the bullet back out. Bentley. We've already played this game. And then he'll morph into your grandfather again, Archibald. Archibald, dear lad, I know it's been a long time, but Do you have my pocket watch, son?
Grandpa, when did you become Scottish?
I've always been Scottish. Do you have that bad of a memory?
What are you doing here? Of course I have the pocket watch. It's been with me the whole damn time.
Can you bring it here? I want to show you what's inside it.
No.
Why not?
This isn't real.
What isn't
You
real?
can't be real.
Why can't I? You believe in the occult, don't you?
You died.
Death is only the beginning, son.
Where's Carmilla during all this? She's still doing fucking
she's
pull-ups.
doing power squats in the corner.
I know.
Can I yell at her? Can I fucking yell at her or throw something at her too for fucking doing this in the middle of all this?
Yeah, she's the assigned booker, and she's goddamn just watching it all happen.
Yeah, she's just watching us go insane, is not even trying to help. So I'm gonna fucking throw a tin can if I can next time.
Get me a.
She's like,
DM, do I have to comply with this, or are you just
No,
fucking
no.
with me?
You technically, if you're not wanting to play into it, give me a psychology roll to see through it.
I do want to see through it because Archibald is very on the path of like, I've done this before.
Yeah.
This isn't.
Archibald went
This isn't
insane
real.
the last time this happened.
I swear to fuck. I swear to. Oh, thank God. That is a hard success.
Well, I guess we're not having any fun today, Archibald. Maybe next time. Everybody go. All of my chanters, give me another power or con roll.
Bentley like immediately scrambles to like one knee and like frantically is trying to regain his tempo.
Fucking 88. I'm so distracted by our
Shenanigans,
dumbass
you're
brawler
like-
back here.
The Watcher's not watching. Two fucking people
Yeah.
have like potentially stepped in the circle. Like,
Literally, it's like the most obvious fate trap ever.
Bentley is so shaken, is like panicking, took a shot knowing it wouldn't work, and is trying to regain tempo and fails. I got a 98.
what is your score in that?
45.
So technically a crit fail.
Okay.
I've got I got a hard success on the concentration.
Nice.
Thank God. Someone's keeping it up.
Violet, what'd you get?
I also failed with a 92.
Winners.
Yours isn't quite a crit fail, but Archibald, at the moment, you're able to like see through it and like buckle down, but you're noticing the other chanters in the circle are really fucking struggling at this point, and like you are holding down the fort. You can see that the glow of the circle is close to like the end point based off of the last ritual, but you know that like it's going to be tough if you're the only one that can maintain this chant. At this point, the djinn will kind of like turn its eyes over to Dr. Savage. Well, maybe. And then you'll see him turn into a soldier. And specifically, this is one of the corpsemen that was right alongside you. Dr. Savage, why didn't you warn me when we went up the hill? As you see, like, a plume of blood start on his chest and start to, like, seep down.
I did warn you, you fucking idiot. You didn't listen, you hard-headed fool.
Don't lie to yourself. We both know that you let me just run out there.
Maybe I did.
Damn.
And Dr. Savage will have a sinister kind of half smirk on his face.
Are you content? Are you happy?
Of course I'm happy. At least I knew how a bomb affected the human anatomy when it blows up.
Ah. What I mean is, are you content with your life? Are you at peace?
Yeah, handsome, rich, have my own clinic, playboy, millionaire kind of vibe.
Oh, that sounds like the lies we tell ourselves.
Well, you're the one that likes living lies, isn't that right? He's gonna try to break free from this.
Okay, go ahead and give me a psychology roll.
Come on, baby, give me some good money. That is a 60, which is right on the money, so a success.
Perfect. I am impressed with you lots. I will say, however, Dr. Savage, that I may take different forms, but I am honest with who I am inside and come to terms with what I am and my nature. I think you may have some work to do. My chanters, go ahead and give me another con or power.
Oh, 18.
All right, guys, we got to get this one. Keep going. Don't lose focus.
Jesus. Okay, I fail.
Hard success.
I failed.
I like that number. I like that number. That is a regular success.
Perfect. Archibald and Dr. Savage, based off of the fact that you guys were able to fight through it, it seems like you guys are able to just focus back in, and it seems to be the nail in the coffin, because as you guys come into the last few minutes, you guys are about 45 minutes from whenever you started, and there's a sort of almost like a tornado that sort of appears above the djinn as it starts to vortex down to it and then start to pull it up. It'll kind of the djinn will kind of scan the room at this point as it's been forced into its normal form. Well, it seems I did underestimate you lots. But I will say you seem to underestimate me. I hope you enjoy my brother. He's not as kind as I am. As he's finished being forced up into the tornado, and the glowing of the ritual subsides and the room is quiet.
Bentley will drop down to his other knee and just sob.
Jesus. That was rough.
Carmila's gonna walk over to Bentley and just hold out a bottle of whiskey.
She's been drinking in the corner the entire fucking time.
She doesn't say anything. She doesn't. You just hear huss, 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 huss as she gets closer squatting. But no, she doesn't say anything. But she just kind of leans the bottle towards you.
He'll take a very big swig and give it back to you, but does not stop his demeanor.
I told you, lad. This isn't easy, and they lie to you and they make you see shit that you don't want to see.
He's not sure how to respond and does not.
Archibald is going to reach into his pocket and he pulls out his small spy camera and he snaps a photo of Bentley and then writes in his notebook.
Go ahead and give me a photography roll, if
Will
that's a
do.
skill you have and you would like to roll.
It is 100% a skill that I have.
You'll capture like, because Carmila's like right behind him, and you'll capture like her flipping you off, but you only see like the lower part of the fist and down.
That is a hard success.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you're able to snap a pretty good one, despite it being a low point for Bentley. As far as like artistry goes, it is a phenomenal picture. Kind of like you can feel the emotion through the photo that you've snapped. Obviously, it's got to be developed and all that jazz, but
I was like, do we have digital cameras?
Yeah, it's more for me describing what you're going to have as the end product later.
Okay.
At this point, we can RP out the end of the night here, but we are now in a developmental phase. So everybody that has survived, which was everybody, you can add 1d10 plus 1 to your sanity score. Specifically your current sanity, not your starting. And you can all add 1% to your Cthulhu mythos.
1%.
Yeah, for most of you, I think that now has got you up to like 2%, but for some of you, that might be your first Cthulhu mythos.
I'm not sure if I was not counting sanity correctly. So my current box was empty, and I had accrued 6 over the course. Was the
like
current
six sanity damage?
Yeah.
Okay, so
like,
you should be 6
the
lower.
Current have 40, so the 45 would have been my current, and I would lower that down to 39 from the. Okay, I see.
Yeah,
and then
your current would have always been your starting if you hadn't taken any sanity damage, and then you lower it, and then at this point you guys can add 1d10 plus 1.
So this is effectively just healing to it, so we're not exceeding the 45. Okay.
You can't, if that puts you over 45, you can go up. The max sanity is 99 minus your Cthulhu Mythos score. Because the more you know about the Cthulhu Mythos, the lower your sanity is.
Okay, so I rolled an 11, so that would put me at 50, so 5 above my starting.
Yeah. And you will update your starting to now be that value.
I see. Okay.
Okay.
How do you add a percent to Cthulhu Mythos?
You just put, instead of it being 0, you would put 1 in the score that's in Cthulhu Mythos.
Like for regular, I guess. I just put 1 there, so it's like 1, 0, 0.
So next to the skills, it should have 3 skill boxes, like regular, half, and 5th, or 4th.
Yeah.
You would be updating your regular score.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So I have a 5 in Cthulhu Mythos, though.
So it would go up to 6.
Yeah. You're just adding. These are all percentile scores, right? So when I say a 1%, you're just adding 1 to the score that's in it.
Okay, that's where I was confused, because like there's that percent box like next to it. I'm like, I don't know how to do that.
No, you get to add 0.05 to your score. 1% of 5.
Fuck. Okay. Anything else you guys would like to RP closing out this ritual? It's like 1:45 to 1 a.m. is kind of like time stamp as far as it. Obviously, a very trying and emotional time for some of the members, and even just for those of you that were chanting, it felt like you were having to use your life force as you're actively chanting. Like it was pulling from you, not just like a physical drain from chanting. Like it took your spirit to make this happen. Hence the power roll.
Oh man.
Bentley he started his practice by more or less diagnosing himself, as it was not a commonly sought practice where he came from. and is having to retrace back through some of his developmental like skills he had built up, but is bringing up some like PTSD like none other. Like he's probably not going to sleep tonight.
Anybody else?
Doctor, I mean, we're pretty much done here, so Dr. Savage definitely wants to turn in for the night. He's definitely gonna probably go through another pack of cigarettes after all that stress. Though he would like to, just double check on the so-called attack and see if
Yeah,
that
I was gonna
succeeded
say
or failed.
if you're heading home, as you make your way back up from the interrogation sector of PICA, which is a few floor downs. I can't remember if I described how many floors. It's definitely in the ground, so it's like the bunker portion of the facility. As you get back up to the main level and kind of like move towards the front, it seems like everybody's doing fine, and they're kind of like dragging in. Like you can see some body bags being pulled in from outside. Um, if you're interested in asking, I could describe more. If you're just content with the description of the body bags, we'll leave it there. Um, as you kind of like get out to the front, you can see there was some attacks on the doors themselves. Specifically, you can see they were targeting like the door frame specifically.
Okay.
And as you kind of see, there was like a paint over it, so like it's not obvious to the public, but you can see there's like sort of like ritual markings on the door frame. So you get the impression that they were probably trying to like remove the markings to allow themselves in.
Okay. Yeah, he'll just be content with that. It seems like, there might have been some losses or whatnot, but for the most part, everything
To
seems...
best of your knowledge, you don't notice any of the night personnel missing. So you think it seemed like the PICA personnel were able to handle the attack fairly
okay.
handily. It's just they're not going to leave dead bodies out in the front.
Okay. Yeah, true. Given the situation and what the Jinn said, he'll actually just stay at Pika, because now he's inkling concerned that the other Jinn has already been like summoned or released, so he's just gonna stay here.
Okay. If you'd
Same.
like, from the kind of like brief excursion outside, go ahead and give me a spot hidden.
Sure, yeah, he'll just kind of he definitely does like you heard a knock on, or late at night and you're just like peek your head out the front door through the blinds, kind of look. So yeah, he'll do a quick little sweep. Let's see. That is a fail. He sees nothing, definitely
Yeah,
great, going back inside.
it's one of those, you could have already talked to it a little bit, but like there's a little bit of unsettling feeling. On top of him mentioning that his brother was released, or you assume that's what he implied with saying enjoy his
Right.
brother. You also know that just because he was banished doesn't mean the shapeshifters that were here are just miraculously gone. So you don't know
Right.
if it's going to be safe, essentially.
Right. Yeah, so he'll definitely just, probably for the meantime, take up permanent residence in Pika for now.
Gotcha. Okay. Any other things for this evening?
How is Violet doing?
Oh, like exorcist lit right now, you know.
Violet's more or less a little bit in shock because her last few rolls weren't too great, so she's a little like shaken up from everything and kind of sitting on the wall. Not even in her notebook right now. She's just sitting.
Archibald reaches into his pocket and fumbles around for a second, pulls out like one of those old school like flip cigarette cases, and pulls the cigarette out and lights it and walks over to Violet. Tonight was rough. You did good. I was I was wondering if maybe you'd, I don't know, like some company tonight. If not, I'll go shack up with Bentley.
Ooh.
It's just
Company
to,
would be good.
and I probably should have said this before Dr. Savage went up. Good work, first of all. I know this is things that are tough to see firsthand, but I made the executive decision before we'd even started to have some bottles of champagne prepared. If you guys would like something to maybe calm the nerves a little bit. And there's some light refreshments to kind of nibble on before heading to bed. I assume all of you will need some rest. I know I will. If you're not familiar with these types of things, it's more or less dabbling in the act of magic, and you have to train your body to get accustomed to them.
Appreciate that. We'll take a bottle to go, but now, do you mind? You're ruining my cool here, you see.
I'm not sure I knew what you mean, Archibald, but by all means, stay here in the ritual room that we almost watched one of us die in. As he'll, like, make his way out.
Archibald's waiting like intently. I Bentley, I guess I'm coming with you tonight.
You see a very hollowed expression, and he does not respond, but doesn't object to you coming.
Archibald shoots a look at you, Violet. Are you gonna say something, or are you just gonna leave him there?
I had said before that I would like company. I did say that.
Good, as he straightens his tie and. All right.
Like I said, you guys can find some light refreshments. It's like little like sandwiches and kind of like a cheese platter with like some champagne, like basically like an infant tile version of like a charcuterie board. It's like set up with some champagne.
Yeah, Carmila's for sure just shotting down the glasses of champagne, eating cheese and meats, and she's watching Archibald and Violet, and she's just like sitting there. She goes, "If he has game before I have game tonight, it's a sad day in hell." And she'll just kind of walk away.
Archibald smiles and straightens his tie again.
Have to find the right music.
Oh, I was waiting for Archibald. He had started a thought with like adjusting his bow tie that hasn't said anything since. So.
Yeah, no, that was his response.
Oh,
to
okay,
what
that was it.
Carmila said.
Okay, anything else for this kind of depressing interaction in the cafeteria, which isn't too surprising with how everybody's feeling at the moment.
I think I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we will end off as far as narratively goes for tonight there. What to expect for next session is we will be heading into a developmental phase. For those of you that haven't got to experience one because you joined in the middle of a active module, You guys will do rolls for any skills that you had checked off during this particular set of events to potentially increase those scores. This will be a chance to regain sanity with like RP, with visiting a psychologist, working with your key connection, whatever that one is, or doing like psychotherapy that can be with another player character or whatnot. It'll also be a chance to do just some generic RP. You guys will determine how long this developmental phase will be. Um, uh, Basically, you now know that there might be another threat, but whether or not you're ready to just straight engage on that is kind of up to you guys. The other thing you can do during this time period is to kind of like train skills. It takes about a month of like active effort in wanting to train those skills. What I would ask before next session, which is, unless something changes with the schedule right now, it'll be about 3 months, uh, is kind of like think through what things you would want to do during this down period, um, and kind of have it prepared before we meet that session, so we can kind of work through it. Because oftentimes that ends up being a little bit more involved because it's a lot of the only time you get to do stuff outside of actively researching or um, engaging with a known entity.
Gotcha.
But with that, thank you guys for playing. That's the end of session 12.